Jesus. Father, I want to thank you for bringing us here safely. I also want to thank you for people that are on their way. Father, we hope that we bring them safely in the mighty name of Jesus. Ancient of this, as we will proceed with today's program, Lord, go with us in Jesus' name. Amen. In Jesus' mighty name we are praying.
Alright, so before we go further, I want to believe that we all know the reason why we are here. Because I don't want us to go to bed without knowing why we are here and the purpose why we are here. I would like to ask from few people, just to, I want to have a date because I can't be in a place without knowing the reason why I'm there. So I would like to ask one or two persons here to tell us the reason why we are here.
I call the photography industry, Dayo Adedayo, to just get to know company, get to express a lot of knowledge in the industry. I just appreciate you and appreciate the work you have been doing over the years. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I had an opportunity. It was just in a conversation with Mr. Yuki. I got to know that there was a visit to the IBS, Mr. Dayo Adedayo. So, and I saw it as a good opportunity. I've had the opportunity to listen to him at different conferences, and I thought it would be a golden opportunity to actually have a closed door meeting, and I'm able to just hear so much more from him. So yeah, so I'm here to feed off from the wealth of knowledge from
Achieved, to know more about you. You know, I'm sure to you that most of the people here, they're also here for one reason or the other, and I know that we are going to have, you know, a sweet time with you, you know, for today. We're dedicated today for you, you know, to enjoy with you. So, from now, we would like to have a brief introduction of ourselves. You know, tell us your name, your brand, and stuff like that. So, we're starting from
I represent Ukay Photography from Ukay.
Good morning, everyone. This one is Dayo Adedayo Photography Academy.
I'm Ukay Solomon. I'm from Ukay Photography.
I'm the creative director for Savvy Photo Magic Studios at Surrey, Lagos. Thank you so much.
My name is Ukay. I'm a student of Ukay Academy. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Adedayo from Ukay Photography Academy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Joshua from Ukay Academy.
The creative directors of Top Media. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dayo Adedayo, popularly known as Abe Wonder Films. I'm from Alabama. I'm a videographer, I'm a content creator, also I'm a film editor. Thank you.
Everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dayo Adedayo, creative director of Ukay Photography Academy. Good morning. My name is Ukay. I'm from QP Photography.
I'm from one and only Ukay Academy.
My name is Ukay. I'm a student at Ukay Photography Academy.
My name is Williams from Ukay Photography Academy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Williams from Ukay Photography Academy.
My name is Rachel Kenneth, and I'm a student at Ukay Academy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Russian Samson, the student of Ukay Photography Academy.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Manuel Juliano from Ukay Academy.
My name is Sadiq Mendala. I'm from Ukay.
My name is Grayson David. I'm from Ukay Photography Academy.
My name is Benita Sampson from Ukay Photography Academy.
My name is Dayo Adedayo from Ukay Photography Academy.
From Ukay Academy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Williams Ajosua Aliti. I'm a photographer from Dr. Dayo.
Everyone, my name is Doye Mercy. and the founder of Libra Port Services. Nice to be here. My location is Ogba, Lagos.
My name is Ewo Ibrahim. I'm a photo enthusiast. I'm from Oroshoki.
Where is
Oroshoki.
Where is Omoshoki? After is it Oyo State? After
My name is Adedayo, the Academy Director of Ukay Photography Academy. I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you very much.
I do not have a photography academy, and I know that we have one of the best, is there. And I'm glad to see you guys, hailing me, I want to be like you when I grow up. All right, so I would like to bring some people, that matters on this platform. I want to bring them to the table. Messi, who is the founder, the convener of this. Thank you for bringing us together. God bless you. We appreciate it. God bless you. I also want to bring on board UK, the chairman, MD, CEO, teacher, lecturer, hotel of UK Academy. We'd like to have you on board. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. God bless you. Soon, I'll go global. I'll go global like a doctor. So, because I'm looking forward to be like you. All right, so the next on our agenda, we'll be having brief history about footprint achievers, which will be anchored by APES. APES, who would like to have you here?
This is Samuel, the media director, APES Vision Photography. I'm here to read about the celebrating exceptional individual in the media world with footprint achievers. A brief history about them. This to an icon. This to an icon is a heartfelt initiative launched by footprint achievers to honor outstanding individuals who have made significant contributions to the media industry. This celebration isn't limited to borders. It reaches beyond Nigeria to recognize trailblazers around the world. The purpose is simple, yet powerful, to acknowledge and appreciate these remarkable people while they are still here to see it, rather than waiting until they are no longer with us. We believe in giving them their flowers now, celebrating their journey, their impact, and their continued influence. We are proud of how warmly this initiative has been received and how it continues to grow. It reflects the spirit of appreciation, encouragement, and inspiration, reminding our icons that their work matters and their stories deserve to be told. If you would like to support this mission, you are welcome to partner with us. Through voluntary contributions, your support helps us reach more icons, share their stories, and inspire others to make meaningful impact in their own ways. Footprint Achievers is more than just a name. We are a growing community of photographers, videographers, and cinematographers dedicated to sharing knowledge, experience, and creative experience. Together, we learn, grow, and tell the stories that shape our world. Thank you.
You mentioned something that we are a growing community, which stands out. We learn, we relearn, we learn on the platform, and I'm sure that a lot of people have been impacted with this. At this junction, we would like to hear, the biography of. So we would like to, hear the biography of our great icon, Mr. Dayo Adedayo. I think that one is better. I need to echo it. All right. So by RHO Multimedia, please, if she's not around. So, okay. So Mercy can do that on my behalf.
Okay, if you open your e-magazine that was sent to the group, you should see that. Alright, the profile of the icon, Mr. Dayo Adedayo. Oladayo Mukaila Adebayo. So sorry, sir. Adedayo, sorry, sir. Oladayo Mukaila Adedayo, popularly known as Dayo Adedayo, is a distinguished photographer, author, and cultural documentarian with over 3 decades of experience capturing the essence of Nigeria through the lenses of his camera. A passionate storyteller, his work transcends photography, serving as a visual archive of Nigeria's rich history landscape, architecture, people, and traditions. A graduate of Westminster College, Battersea, London, and the University of Westminster, London, where he specialized in photography arts, Dayo's career has been marked by an unwavering dedication to perceiving Nigerians' heritage through imagery. Since turning professional in 1988, that is wow. Please let's clap. 1988. Wow.
Wow.
He has meticulously documented Nigerians' architectural monuments, historical and archaeological sites for over 20 years.
Wow.
Solidifying is, if you see some places that catch your attention, let us express it. Wow. Wow. Give that wow. It's not easy.
Not easy.
Looking
at the length of years.
Solidifying his legacy as one of the Nigerians' most influential visual historians. Dayo Adedayo's groundbreaking work has graced the pages of Nigerian e-passport, the 100 Naira Central. Some of you even know 100 Naira. And the century edition of Monopoly Nigeria, reinforcing his impact on national identity and pride. His photography is also showcased in presidential wing of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. A testament to show his role in shaping Nigeria's visual narrative. As an author, he has published 17 pictorial books. 17. Enchanting Nigeria, Nigerian the Magica, Lagos State, the Center of Excellence, Lagos State, the Center of Nigeria 2.0, Yoruba Proverbs, and Capturing Nigeria in Frames. His books serve as timeless visual anthologies. At least we can see some of their books here on this. It's not easy to put all of these things together. His book serves as timeless visual anthologies, chronicling Nigeria's beauty, transformation, and resilience. Beyond his artistic achievement, he was appointed a committee member of Nigeria Board of Technical Education in 2012 to develop photography as a course in Nigeria Polytechnic. Is that not wonderful? His contributions to the industry have earned him numerous awards and recognition both locally and internationally. As he continues his journey, he is currently developing a one-of-a-kind immersive tourist attraction in Nigeria, designed to offer visitors a virtual journey through Nigeria, diverse landscape and cultural heritage without leaving the comfort of a single location. So please, let's just put our hands together. All these achievements is not easy. Alright, over to you, Mr.
Highly delighted when I will do a brief welcome address, you said. Yes, everything is going to be off the cuff, but whatever I say today, take it as it is. There is a proverb in Yoruba land that says, if I cut kola nut into two and give you one to eat, don't eat. But anything that comes out of my mouth, listen to it, because it's going to be useful to me one day or the other. So, it's going to be a very brief welcome address. I welcome you all to the DAP Experience Center, Lagos. DAP meaning Dayo Adedayo Photography Experience Center. This has been a 22-year dream. I wrote everything down in 2003, everything dated on time. Whatever I do in life, I've written it down somewhere. It's not something, I don't do things on impulse. And my dream is for me to have people like you to surpass whatever myself or the people before me has ever done. And otherwise, the dream will just die with me or with my generation. Because the generation before me who were into this art, most of them, if not all, were primary school certificate holders. We used to have primary school certificates, which might be tougher than what you have in your 100 or 200 that we invested today. So if you've been to a secondary school in those days, there is no way you'll ever become a photographer. It's absolutely impossible. So people look down on photographers, right? It's going to be very short. And I welcome you all. Thank you for the honor. I'm highly humbled. And for you to take on the profession is not an easy profession. All of you seated here, I'm not a diplomat, I will say it as it is. You might be lucky just to have one person that will make it up good. And if you don't believe me, just look around yourself. Look around Nigeria, over 200 million people. You can't point to one photographer who is as rich as Studio Illuminati, or the rest of them. Absolutely impossible. Right? And majority of the people in this creative art today, virtually 70 to 80% are single. And when you're single, you think you're making money. Until when you get married, you start paying house rent, start taking care of children, school fees, and the things that comes with, the things that comes with marriage. And the truth is, there is nothing called love. Yes, there are women there. There's nothing called love. If there is no money, yes, that is it. We're here to talk about photography. And photography is philosophy. If you are not a philosopher, you can never be successful in the art. Right? Why? Why should someone take a picture and everybody will just be saying, wow, wow. There's a bit of thinking that goes into it. And when people tell you snap, there is nothing called snap in creativity. If you snap, you're just snapping your finger. Doesn't need any thinking. So, welcome address. Before I go out of my house, to say I'm going to take a photograph, there is a thinking behind it. I've looked beyond what I'm going to do. What do I want to do with that image? That's the first thing that goes into my brain. And after taking the image, I know where the image will go to. It's not just a matter of impulse, or I want to go to this festival because they are doing festival, but he wants to be like Dayo Adedayo. It's absolutely impossible. Throw that in the bin. There is no true Dayo Adedayo because I am not like my father, and my son will never be like me. Absolutely impossible. And in the age-wise, another bomb is not written anywhere, but it's Dayo Adedayo philosophy. I'm over 16, and I've seen a bit of this life. If you struggle to the age of 40, you will struggle for the rest of your life. If you struggle to the age of 40, you will struggle for the rest of your life. It's even worse in the creative industry. And that is why you will never hear King Sonia sing anything after 40. Obek will not sing anything. Neither his father is still alive today, there is nothing to sing about. Because if these guys are still creative, there will be no Davido, there will be no Wizkid. So creativity is a daunting task that you have to be on top of your feet. How? 3 things you need to do in this line of business. If you are really going into it. 1 is education, 2 is education, 3 is education. And thank God for organizations like Ukay Photography Academy. I'm hearing it for the first time. I never heard it. And the truth of the matter is, what is happening today in terms of education, what you learn by the time you finish investing is obsolete. What you know last week is obsolete. So you have to keep learning every day, know what is going on. Your generation is the best ever that has ever been born. Why? You have, with this Android phone, or what do they call Apple OS, or what do they call it? Right? IS, Abi. I don't want to publicize what it's saying. Yeah, but with this, in our days, it's an encyclopedia. Your parents will have to save, and because it was really expensive, they don't even have the money. That is if you are from an educated family. For people like me, both parents unelected. My mom was what is it called? Petty trader, right? So we have to learn this trade. So when I was in school, and that is one of the takeaways of today. Personally, I move with people who are much, much better than me. Among all my friends, I'm the poorest among them. And I deliberately invited 2 of them here today. They are into finance because at the end of the day, after going to school, there is an adage, there is something that I say, Kilo Bade. What is the essence of it all? There is no reason for you to be the best photographer or the best, you have the best plumber or the best anything in the world, and there is nothing for you to show at home. So what is the baseline? It's beyond the lens. It's not about creativity. It's you being able to apply markets into whatever you do. And that's the cocoa of the matter. Opening remarks or welcome address. This is the best time to be in Nigeria. I'll say it again. This is the best time to be in Nigeria. Don't listen to the noise of the market. If you get swayed by the noise of the market, right, that's the end of it for you. Why? There is nothing in Nigeria today. The economy is down, people are shouting. What Yoruba people say is, don't say so if they are pounding yams in a leaf and the steam is from the pod of groundnuts, some people will still be belly food. I don't want to be belly food in Nigeria. I want to have constipation. And in doing that, you have to be different. I deliberately brought some books for you guys to look at them or to show you. And that's the beauty of education. There are over 3 genres of photography, and only one is being done in Nigeria. Just one. Social photography. And only God knows the numbers of photographers that are helped during COVID. Should there be another COVID today, everybody will go bankrupt in minutes. Because who is taking portraits? No. Who is going to do events? Because the whole world has been shut down. Even planes were not flying. And for the first time in living memory, people saw dolphin in our waters. So, what I want you guys to go home with today is there is a lot in Nigeria. But you need education. You need to open up your mind. Forget about camera for the time being, because it's not the camera that is taking the picture. It's your brain. The best pictures ever taken by the greatest of all. They are all dead now. They are under 6 feet. The greatest people in the world are under 6 feet. They've taken the best of pictures. With all the advance of technology, AI, digital, this, digital, that, a lot of photographers are now going back to analog. And if I'm still taking serious pictures today, I still go back to my analog cameras. There is no way I will get a commission and I will go with a digital camera. You don't go to a wedding with a Sony or Canon or Nikon. Why people are struggling and you are struggling with them. So what are you justifying? Some 15 years ago, I was charging nothing less than 5 million naira to cover a wedding. In this same country, I've shot a wedding for 20 million naira for a day's job. I don't know who is charging 5 million naira today. At the exchange rate of nearly 2,000 to 1. Then it was about 105, 110 to the dollar. So in a day, I make about $45,000 and $7,000. But you really see, and it's on your job. It's the way you present yourself that people will take you. Welcome address. I'm still packing my brain because I think you got it. So, why did that Experience Center? I want to put money back into you guys' pockets. As I'm talking to you now, someone somewhere is buying my work. Just last night, I will show you my email that I received about 10 or around 11 last night from Amazon. Money to be credited into my account, which I got everything. So I'm talking to you now, no matter how little it is, I'm making income in dollars. So whatever the exchange rate is, it's none of the business. So, what am I saying? I want to put money into these guys' pockets. How? You have to work for it. I'm going to be the first person in the history of Nigeria, and that is going to happen in the next 6 months to 12 months, to sell an image for $1 billion. It doesn't have to be mine. It doesn't have to be mine. Because if the castle could be sold for $500 million, $300 million, so why can't I sell a picture for $500 million? That's the question. Forget about creativity now. The one should be buy, one should not be paid. It's the way you advertise your market. That's the way people will take it. You go to social events, people take pictures and they write on the floor. Right? Am I deciding to buy? Am I deciding not to? That's the value you place on yourself. And if you don't sell, that's your business. And that is the business of photography that one of my bro, who is seated here, Kola Oshabisi, is trying to propagate. Because according to Baba Sule, one of the Yoruba comedians, Gbogbo Alalori lost, but many to lost are very rich. We are all photographers, but there's a difference between men and boys. If this room is filled with rice, you cannot take one that is different. Same size, same color, same weight. But if you drop a grain of pain into this room, you easily find it. That's the takeaway for me today. That is what I want you guys to be. 300 general photography. We've not even scratched the surface. All you are concerned with is your highlight, shadow, contrast, overexposure, underexposure, and then again to make it worse. No disrespect, And this is one of the things I hated most in Nigeria. The Nigerian photographers, everybody rushing. They were blocking us, they seated there to see what is going on the other side. One, you need to get the training. Two, you need to get the equipment. We've all seen, who watched the burial of Queen Elizabeth or the marriage of Harry and Meghan? I mean, you guys said, yes. You will never ever see one photographer or videographer. Meanwhile, every second, they are sending pictures to the press. What? They have the training and they have the equipment. You can't go out and have a mobile phone and be trying to take people's pictures. One, they disrespect you. And that is why I stopped doing social photography. Because you set up an image for you to be taken. My training was to take one image because I was trained with in analog. There was no digital when I was in school. So the camera that I used for weddings was a medium format camera, 10 exposures. My RZ67. So will I be going and just be clicking? No. So I'll set my image before taking it. So I don't need, for a wedding, I don't need more than 40 images to tell the story from the beginning to the end. Because I was not in digital in those days. So how do you tell the story from the beginning to the end? Then again, you guys now take 1 billion pictures. Now get back to the studio and trying to edit. Edit what? You get confused. Then you now send, after taking 1 billion pictures, you send 100 million pictures to the client to choose from. Then you now charge how much? You guys, my friend might not be able to talk to you today, but I just want them to listen for the opportunities, because at the moment, there is no one in the country looking at that. So if you study economics or banking and finance or accounting and you're a photographer, you can still learn photography. Why not be a finance person and make money off it? 10% of $1 million is better than what? Zero of anything. Because you can just be charging 30% on your clients. You get the job, you do the accounting for them. Because by the time you do your cost accounting, you're right. The time you spend taking the pictures, the time you spend editing your equipment, and I'm 100%, no, don't let this 100%. I'm about 80% sure most of you do not even have insurance against your equipment. By the time you deduct the cost of equipment and the depreciation of those equipment, because whether you like it or not, it depreciates. And some people just have accidents, or not just accidents, maybe have robbery or things like that. And they will be lost. They will now be begging people to raise money to buy equipment because they are not insured. Why? Because you are not charging the right amount of money. If you are charging the right amount of money, you'll be able to put all those things into perspectives to get all the equipment. And there is a lot to talk about. I can't put everything I've learned since 1988 into 5 minutes, welcome address, or what I've learned in school over 5 years, for two years of national diploma. And thank God I did my national diploma, because university, don't go to university to study photography. It's a bloody waste of time because it's not your vertical. It's theory. But when you do your national, I don't know what the curriculum is now. They will take you as if you are a novice, you know nothing. From video camera, for a whole year when I was doing my national diploma, we didn't touch a camera. It was our second semester of second year that we started using camera. Because by then, we are now vast in using cameras. Why? Because we've used things to make pinhole cameras, to put papers, dark papers behind it, for people to, for us to expose, having your stopwatch time. Because if you look at the first picture ever taken in France, and that is why they are cultural in France. The guy jumping over the water, I think it's one of the pictures I brought in there. That was the first images. No, that was not the first camera, but that was the first photojournalism picture. The first picture, I think, was in street in France. There was a bit of movement because of the exposure. So down the ages, people have been clever. And the best people are under 60. Never think you're the best in the world, right? And to be inspired, go to the cemetery. One, it tells you to start counting down your days because you're not going to be alive. And nobody's going to live here alive anyway. And by the time you see great names, people you respect so much, under 60s, that might inspire you to say, let me do something creative, let me do something beautiful. You know, but if you are looking for money, get out of this business. Your spouse will divorce you, your spouse will mess you up, your children will snare at you, your friends might reject you, family will not talk to you because it's not a money-making business. That's why I said everybody seated there, you might be lucky for one among you to be successful. Then again, there is one thing I do often, every blessed day, every second, when I'm not talking, I pray. I believe in the efficacious power of prayers. And I believe so much in my mom. She's 95 now. If you have a mother, take care of her. She's your God. She's better than any pastor, better than the Pope, not even a man. Forget about your dad. Your dad might not be your father. That's the truth. Yeah, it might sound derogatory, but that is the truth. But your mother is your mother. And Yoruba culture, unfortunately, religion came and we just messed ourselves up totally. In Yoruba land in those days, Yoruba have known of DNA long before the white men came. If you go to any Babalawo in those days, they will never ask you for your father's name. Why? Because the man might not be your father. And there was nothing called IVF. So it's only your mother that can give back to you. They will ask for your mother's name. And that's the portion of DNA. And in Nigeria today, according to the United Nations, Google is your friend, your Android phones. 4 out of 10 children are bastards. So women are worse on cheating than men. The difference is men talk. Women's best friend will never know what she's doing. A man that has never even touched a woman will tell her this, my babe now, so people slept last night. But women will never do that. So if you have a mother, worship your mother. And the difference is this. I have a saying that I've said jokingly, even to my wife most times, all women are mother. I have, sorry about my language, including my mother. There is no woman that you give money to that will not smile back at you. Your mother will still pray for you, but if you give her money, the prayer level will be different. And whatever she says goes. If you see women who are struggling to be successful in life, dig into them. 9 out of 10, they fall to their parents, their mother. And in annoyance, you as a woman never say anything bad to your children. There is a cord between you and your child. And that is why women fill church and mosque. Men don't. Because it's women that pray for their husband and pray for their children. And when you take care of your mother, Chi from the Igbos, Eleda from the Yoruba, we always pray for you. Welcome address. What else again? I'm just putting everything in a nutshell. But the cocoa of the matter is Kilobade. This place is going to change the face of photography in Nigeria. Not just to put money into your pocket, but to give photographers a platform. My friends are saying, what is an artwork? I say, artwork. Has Nikkei Art Gallery granted any photographer space? So why should I go out of my way to do that? You have several art galleries all over the place, but nothing for photographers. And that's what this place is. So in a nutshell, what this place is all about is the photography, photographers, and photography. So your work, we're going to sell over 400 merchandise there, not just my work alone. I'm happy with one of my work is even part of the merchandise. It's for you guys who have very good pictures. Because the younger you are, the more talented you are. If they give the two of us a sports car, I mean, if you give a 60-year-old and a 30-year-old sports car to go to Ibadan, the 30-year-old will be in Ibadan long after the 60-year-old will get there. So you are more creative, you can take risks. But at my age, or older people who always take calculated risk, you can't afford to lose anything at 60. It will be very difficult for you to recover. So, you guys are more creative. So therefore, the future belongs to you. When they say the future is yours, that is what they meant. Not just because you're going to take a political over, you say, oh, we are older, let's go over, and you come and take over. Nobody will do that for you. So what I intend to do, the more pictures you do, get a lawyer, who's going to discuss with our lawyers, signed, once you agree, don't be greedy. We don't sell the picture for $1 billion or $2 million, and we now take about 30-35%, and you now be upset. Or someone will just say, why would you allow him to take that? Forgetting that you don't have the platform in the first place.
Yeah.
And without the platform, you can't be successful. And the more pictures you take, the better pictures you take, the more money. So while you're sleeping or while you are in places like this, you are making money. Your images can be turned into merchandise. And part of what we're going to do is an immersive experience where you travel from Abia to Zamfara in an immersive experience. I don't know whether anybody has been to any immersive experience center abroad. And 2 minutes you will think you are still in the building. After 5 minutes you will forget yourself totally. You'll be lost in trance, and that is what I do. It's costing a lot of money, but it's a legacy project for me. I can die as I'm talking now. My children can just throw my work into the bin. They don't care. It's not their dream. It's my dream. So I'm not even leaving it for my children. It's the foundation. It's in the trust. You know, and I believe strongly 1 or 2 of you here will be able to do something much, much, much better than this. This is that Experience Center in Lagos. We are building another one in Ikeja. It's going to be called that Experience Center in Ikeja. Another one in Abuja, that Experience Center in Abuja. And I want to replicate it all over the country because as of today, if I ask any of you to name 3 tourist sites to go in Lagos, you will struggle. There is nothing in terms of education. There is also a museum for new photographers. So this wall over there, sorry, I'm taking you around just this floor. Let me get to the other floor, we do that. It's still part of the welcome address. And I'm a marketer, by the way. You have to market your work. This wall is a museum where you see the evolution of photography from pinhole camera to today's mobile phone. The phone in my pocket is 200 million megapixels. I've been writing letters to the villa, Abuja, since Jan Adwa's days, when Shekwadini was there. I thought because as a journalist, you'll be able to resonate women about it. None up to today. I just spoke to Sandy Dari last night. Let me take this picture. Someone will come and do it one day. Even when Bayo Adedayo was there, he could not. But it took me somewhere and I got one. But luckily, in February when I was in the villa, I was dreaming in an SUV. I just told the guy to stop at the point. And I used my phone, 200 million megapixels. Wow. They will be shocked to their bones how I managed to get that picture. And I told Sandy Dari yesterday, I've never seen the Barracks. I don't know whether my friend has been inside the Barracks. No. We are contemporaries, so we are ignorant. And I've been begging since last week, one of the closest aides to the president. Let me do this picture. Okay, I'm not even taking my camera, let me just use my phone. He said, okay, you can dodgy use your phone. That's the kind of technology God has given you. The cake and the knife is now in your hand. Guess what? You can even go around Lagos. I'm giving you an idea now. And take pictures with any of the camera that you use and publish it. So there's a book, if my driver comes to me, I will show it to you. That I made of this place, and I use my phone to do. That is projecting into the future. By the time the manufacturers see that, they'll pay through their nose. And one manufacturer, okay, the other guy was asking me what happened to them, one of the major camera manufacturers. So they're discussing me in Japan today because of this place. So, enjoy yourself. Ask me any questions. I'm not a diplomat. I'm not being rude. I will say it as it is. The truth is bitter. The man with the frown, come on since last time. The truth is bitter, but the truth remains the truth, whatever it is. It's better for you to tell me the truth rather than for you to placate it and later I know it's not the truth. I don't want people to like me. I don't want you to love me. Just respect me. We are coming to this world, 8 billion people, 8 billion talents. There's nobody without a talent. The only problem is we keep struggling to look at other people. And there is this philosophy in Yoruba. Sorry, because I've published Yoruba books, so I grew up in the village. Akunleyan, Ohun Latayeba, Adelaye Ton, you have to be philosophical in this profession. And my Yoruba programs that I did, you can buy it today if you want to, it's very cheap. I used pictures. It's the first in the history of Yoruba land to illustrate each of the pictures. If I tell you the quantity I sold last December, you'll be amazed. I sold over 10,000 copies. Why? There is no one who is new to the book that will see the book and not come back to buy 2 more. Why? Because of the illustration. It's got the original Yoruba proverb, literary translation, and the context. I've read 2 books over and over and over again, so I don't mention everything in the book. Besides, you should also read. I'm a voracious reader. Most of my friends don't know that part of me, but I read. Because I'm not a serious person. I call myself Olivia. Yes, it's derogatory in Yoruba. The Yoruba, one word can be said like it. But the people that I'm photographing are very real. So in my social photography day, that breaks down a lot of barrier. Because I stand in front of them and I say, well, Olivia, let me quickly take it. Olivia, I know. So you want to do something that people will remember you for. And most of the A-list people that I know today, I mean everybody that I know today, I know through my profession. I've never done anything outside my profession. Even though I know everybody, but I don't do contracts, I don't do anything. It's none of my business. Photography. These are all the names that are great photographers. So one of you here can even turn into an author. So we've already had a ready-made market of photographers around the country. Because what is making everybody to go into photography? Unemployment. And you think you can easily make money. But money doesn't make money. Don't go into it because you want to make money. Otherwise, you will leave it at the end of the day. Because it's not going to give you. It's not going to give you what you're looking for. You must have passion for it. It should be part of you before you can make success of it. The photograph, Graham Clark, published by the University of Oxford. This takes you through some general photography, and for you to see how to use photography to do things, explain things. I'm a strong believer in education. Technology might come and go, but some things are still, they are principle. The truth is always the truth. Because without that education, you don't have that technology. You still ride bicycle from Lagos to Ibadan. Why should you ride there? There was nothing like church or mosque. What we had was honesty. Don't ruin the name of your family. Those were the things we grew up with. Even though we go to church on Sunday or to mosque on Friday, but not on this street alone, like about 6 churches, and you can't put anything on the street, it will disappear in 2 seconds. So why is religion? So don't take anybody serious on that. There is no single Nigerian that is a war photographer. Boko Haram will end. It will become issue. And there won't be any visuals to tell the story. This is Don Macaulay. He was here. He smuggled himself into Biafra in 1967. Peter Obi was the only Nigerian journalist that was on the war front. Then, all his work, I've been trying to get hold of his work. I can't. It's an opportunity for those of you who are brave. All you need to do is to rise to defense headquarters or the army. You'll be wearing their camouflage, being them. There was even a soldier, Ansel Adams. Most of you must have heard of Ansel Adams. This is the greatest landscape photographer of all time. All his work was shot on large format. Large format you see in the museum. You know, very heavy camera to take around. And he shot the whole of America before he passed away. That's another form of photography. I was in school. When I was in my national diploma, my degree, all my teachers said, no, you can never be a portrait photographer because of my work. I want to be like Yusuf. Why? Out of the 100 greatest people of the 20th century, Yusuf Pash photographed 58 of them. And when you buy his book, you see what, not all the Photoshop that you guys just do. The wife is on the cover. So I started Yusuf Pash when I was in my national diploma. And when I was in the university, of course, I feel grateful. And that's in there. You know, he migrated to Canada. He died at the age of 92 in Canada. This is David Bailey, portrait photographer in the UK, one of the best as well in the United Kingdom. This book is Bailey's Democracy. If I open the picture for you, some people might not want to see it. We call it democracy, freedom of everything. They're all nude pictures. It's just democracy. Whatever you do, and it was shot at the 5.7. That's the negative in front of you. That's the 5.7 sheet. Negative in front of you. You know? And that's another genre of photography. Last, everybody must have heard of him. Paolo J.K. Yeah, you've heard of him. Yes. I bought this book in Paris. Like I said, I enter any bookshop everywhere I go. You know. Oh no, this was London edition. I had a French edition as well, which I bought in Paris. Because I could not read, I just wanted to get a JK. If you know the story of how this book came about, then you will know the beauty of photography. Paolo J.K. is just a nakam person, just like okay, people started yesterday, they have an association. For organizers have an association, but the photographers don't have an association. It's part of the reasons why people are charging so low, because there is nobody monitoring what is going on, and there is not a standard in the industry. But that is not for me to do, that's for the young generation to do. Thank you very much.
You can do better. You can do better. You can actually do better. Wow. I don't know where to start from. I think I'm well fed. I can't even quantify what I've actually, gathered at this point. In fact, where do I start from? Sir, we are going.
Good day, everyone. I am Mrs. Abuko Charity, Amazing Grace Photography. Thank you. My pleasure to be. I am Ramon Musa, Grammy photographer from Uganda.
My name is Samuel Joshua. I'm from Ukay.
My name is Dayo. I'm from Photography Academy.
Going back to it is the past where he said that once you struggle till you're 40, then you're going to struggle for life. So I think in some areas where I'm thinking that we have time to still play around and do things, I'm really thinking we just have time. So right now, we just have to sit back and sit up so that we don't struggle or keep struggling till we get to help. Thank you.
Anyone, you have to be yourself. But you have to be yourself.
Photography goes beyond
yourself, like you have to apply creativity. And you also talk about how you understand the business. So you can be good, you can be creative, and not making names, not being successful. So we talk about creativity, understanding the business of photography, and the thing is you cannot be like another person. You can only be like yourself and make your own path. So I was able to learn that also.
Pleased to have Mr. Dayo Adedayo to grace this Caesar. He will join us for this question and answer session, and we're so pleased to have you here, sir. So we welcome you, Mr. Kola Oshalusi, correct? We welcome, sir, and Mr. Bolaji Omoshana. So we'll be having this question and answer session with you. So, sir, Mr. Dayo, next time you have over 17 years of dedication after traveled 36 states in the country, capturing significant places in the country. So, sir, your first question. How do you stay inspired in times of creative block?
Oh, thank you very much. Wow. Well, how do I stay inspired? I look out of my window and trees actually inspires me a lot. When you look at a tree during rainy season and during dry season, rainy season you see the greens, the leaves, bright, that sort of fruits that comes only in the rainy season, and some only comes in the dry season. And during the dry season, which was a book called Fall in America, Fall is actually when you start to drop. It just shows the circle of life. Have life, you give back to life, and all of a sudden, things goes away, and for renewal, just like Christians celebrate Easter, for the renewal of birth, Jesus was crucified, and all of a sudden, he rose from the dead for us to believe in the resurrection of Christ. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Kola, can you chip in something to what you just said, sir?
I don't know if I'm supposed to chip in after I said anything.
There might be something you want to add.
But I think there's no easy way. So let me talk like the younger, I'm not the musician, but let me get to maybe the Z's and the millennials or whatever. Okay, so I don't think there's a straight path to deal with creative problems. I think I'm even at that point now. I think I've gone through one stage of block and I'm on another stage of block right now. I don't think there's one straight path to dealing with creative block. But what I've found is for every time you experience a creative block, it's an opportunity to start something new. Creative blocks are not bad. They just literally shows how intense you are with creativity. And unfortunately for us as creatives, because we tend to want to create, we think that the time that those things we want to create are not coming or we're not feeling it are bad times. And I don't think they are. I think that the time that we need I think those are the times we need to move back and introspect. Like what Mr. Dayo said. He said he looks out his window, observe the green, observe the trees, reminisce through the fall and the rebirths. Now, what he's done is he's taken his mind off what we as creative call creativity, which is to always want to create. But he's gone back to the source, which is understanding that every creation is a cycle of life, existence, and of death. And I think that's the only way to get out of it. When you feel you're not able to create, then stop creating and start enjoying that moment. Find something that you won't ordinarily think that will be work to you. Watch a movie. I love watching cartoons. When it happens like that,
I go to watch cartoons. I just walk. Sometimes I mean, the last time I experienced before what I've been going through now, what I did was every morning I just wake up, I walk or I run, and I do like 2 hours of run or do 2 hours of walk, and it just feels calming. When I can't, I go sit down in the bay at the beach, and I do nothing. I just sit and I just look. So I don't think there's one straight way to deal with creative block. The only problem is a lot of times we think creative blocks means the end of our career. And it will become that if you treat it that way. Because when there's creative block, there's a possibility of apprehension. You're scared, you think every other person is succeeding, you're not succeeding. People are doing good, you're not doing, but it's not true. Because if you take your time to look inward, you begin to see the value within the creative blocks. So I think that's my understanding.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kola. Okay, sir. To Mr. Dayo. The next question. What non-photographic art forms influence your work? Non-photographic art forms influence your work?
Photographic art form?
Yes. Non-photographic.
Non-photographic.
Yes.
There are too many things around. I'm a lover of women, even though I critique them a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, when you look at a woman, you know, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. When you look at a woman, you know, because to be in this creative world, you have to be spiritual. You go into trance, and there are some body of work that I've seen, some nude pictures that I've seen, not nude as nude, but in creative art. I've done some in the past, and by the time this center is open, I have an exhibition of them, black and white. When you look at the curve of a woman at the back, people are thinking sexually. I'm not thinking sexually. I'm just being creative here. When you look at the back of a woman, you know, from the shoulder down there, and the curve going and down, there is no way you will not be creative and say, Right? When you are in school, you know you learn your body shape and form. I use women as my body shape and form. Low-key pictures. Do you know how to, do you are in the academy, do you know what low-key is? Low-key is when you take low-key photography. Do you? What is low-key photography? You don't? Okay. So low-key is you because photography. What is photography? Before I answer the question, what's photography? Do you know what photography is?
Anyone from the audience?
Well, I'm talking to the students now. Photography 101. Okay, that's okay. I might have to come to your academy to lecture at a point. Photography is drawing with light. If you can master light, you become a photographer. So you have low key and high key. So low key are the pictures in everything is dark, and the only thing you see is what you want to see. High key is when everything is white, the background is white, and you can see everything. So I did some low key pictures in Shakespeare and the body of a woman is the best engineering work that God has ever done. And at times I wonder what makes some men not to see the beauty of a woman, because there is no ugly woman.
Yes,
it all depends on what you are looking at. You know, some you look at the front and you'll be blown away, and what comes to your mind is, what can I do with this? You know, not with the woman, but the inspiration just tap into your brain, boom. And there is no way women are here, you are going to be, some of them might be married to photographers. There is no known photographers who do not have multiple women.
It's not true.
Yeah, no, because you work in a territory whereby if women don't love you, you have to love women. And statistically or naturally, no, this is not photography now. Naturally, men are not designed to be with one woman.
Wow.
You might be jealous of anything.
Wow.
Scientifically, men are not designed to be with one woman. And women can do without a man for 100 years. But men can't do without a woman for 6 months. No, I'm giving you some. In terms of creativity from his women for me.
Women.
Yes.
Mr. Malaji, would you like to add anything to what he said?
Thank you very much. My late dad used to be a district commissioner of Boy Scouts of Nigeria in our area. Okay? And the motto of Boy Scouts of Nigeria is be prepared. Okay? So I'm trying to do an analogy. I was never told that I was going to be a panel of discussants. So you're going to have mercy on me when you start throwing the questions. And then when questions around women comes around, people like us are always very, very careful because I know who I am. Every woman is beautiful. If God allows it, every woman should be my wife. You understand? Maybe it's hereditary. My name is Solomon, you know. But I don't think I can do as much as my great grandfather. We will try not to bear his name, you know. So now I'm going to ask you a question. Please rephrase that question for me again.
I said, what non-photographic art forms influence your work? Okay, now let's not talk about photography. I think you're a finance person. Yes. In finance, is there any non-financial form that influences your work?
Yeah, obviously, because finance itself is a medium of bringing about a non-financial activity. Okay, somebody has the money, someone has the idea. Okay, so the finance person does not really rely on his money. He's looking forward to how that person that has an idea can bring about something in concrete form. I have money to give out, but I don't know how to build a house. I don't know how to manufacture even nails or whatever. But I have money to put on the table for someone that has an idea. So that's the way by which finance, influences a non-financial, activity. And I think that's the best I can relate at this stage.
Thank you so much, Mr. Now back to Mr. Dayo. Sir, what's one moment behind the camera that changed you? That's one moment behind the camera.
For every business, there is a lucky break. The one moment that changed me, or that gave me my lucky break, was the day I met Dayo Momodu in 2002. It has always been my dream to photograph Ovation. Ovation in our days was social media. There was no computer, nothing. If you do not feature innovation, or if you have a wedding and your wedding wasn't featured in innovation, you have to do the wedding all over again. So my dream then was to be part of the photographers. So we met at a wedding where I was the official photographer to the couple, and Ovation came on his own. But he saw the way I worked, and that was it. And he just took to me. And since 2002, we've been best of friends. That was a defining moment for me. That was a defining moment. And don't forget my church.
That's not enough. Thank you. Moving on, sir.
photo that scared you emotionally or ethically?
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it, please.
Yes, this was in Abia State. I've forgotten the name of the village now. Thank God for my personal assistant. She's now in Canada. We went to this village to photograph this. It's in one of my, no, it's in my books. I think about 3 or 4 of my books. It was a museum. The museum was built in the 18th century. And all the artifacts from those years are still in the same place, full of cobwebs and everything. And I told you earlier that I'm a gracious reader. What I've read on some of the books on Egyptology, some coffins were opened and everybody around them died. Why? Because they've been buried for thousands of years. There are some organisms that have no cure. There are bacteria that have been eaten for thousands of years. And these coffins were, they used brass, or what did they use? Forcing you to open, and then all of a sudden. So that just comes straight to me. My intention was just to take the exterior of the museum and walk away. But she insisted, Mr. Dayo, we've come so far. 2 pictures actually, I'll take the second one. We've gone so far to get to this place and not go inside. I said no, and she insisted, go inside. Yeah, I was very, very scared. And by the time they opened the door, wow, I was even more scared. Wow. I was shaking and said, no, there's no way on earth I'm going to do this. And she just walked in and said, Mr. Dayo, follow me, Joy, you are too scared.
She walked in?
Yeah, she was,
wow.
Walked in, put down my tripod, and I quickly took my pictures. And today, I'm so happy of those images that I took. This was about 2010 or so. The second one was on the Suku World Heritage Site. It was about 3,000 or so feet above sea level. And there is no way for you can't drive up there. You can go to Obudu and drive, boom, you're on top of the mountain. This you have to climb. And I just got to a point where I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm going back home. And what happened? My wife just called. At that point in time, and I was just narrating my experience to her, and she said, Mr. Dayo, you are nearly at the top. Why don't you just go, okay, I'll be with you, and you go. And on getting there, I was scared to. The place is a United World Heritage Site. I don't know whether anybody of you have been there before. And you see the people, they are less than 100 in numbers. They have their own language. Nobody interacts with them. They're looking very fierce. And if you see their teeth, the children and everything. But I have a son of that particular village that followed me up the mountain. And by the time he greeted them and stuff, we became friends, taking pictures. Just I have to walk. Walking back down was much easier than going on. Those were the 2 pictures.
So the road to success is usually very, very hectic. Failure is usually easy.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Bolaji, I will ask you the same question, Mr. Kola.
Okay.
So, have you ever taken a photo that scared you emotionally or ethically?
So I'll say emotionally, not ethically. And emotionally for me, happened only about 2 years ago. And I think prior to when I did that job, people would ask me, oh, what job have you ever done that was the most daunting or the most stressful or the most challenging one? And I'll say no. I mean, to me, I think every job is a job, every job is a challenge on its own. But coincidentally and painfully, I photographed Herbert's Igwe's funeral service. And I think for me, that's the most as it's emotionally challenging job I've ever done. One, because of the circumstances that surrounded the event. Two was because I knew personally. And then the third was, I think, because of the song. I think with Herbert, the night for Herbert, I could manage. I remember getting in the morning for Jesus' memorial, and I stood right there and I broke down for about 30 minutes. I stood there crying. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't take pictures.
Very emotional.
Yeah, it was really hard. Maybe I was thinking like a father. Maybe I was thinking like human. I don't know what it was, but I think it was so tough. For about 30 minutes, I couldn't move. I stood right there. My assistants couldn't do anything. I think it was Kelechi that came to pull me and hug me and said, let's go outside. And it was tough. So I think for me, that's the most emotionally challenging job I've ever done. Ethically, I think I'm very careful. I don't have the hat Mr. Dayo has. Where they say people should know, but I don't go. You understand? It's not that serious. You understand what I'm saying? I'm very particular.
You're more fearful than him.
Oh, no, I'm not fearful. I'm just strategic. I'm just strategic. You know, for me, so ethically, I'm very careful. I try to ask questions. In as much as I've done quite a lot of street photography and other sort of commercial work that's taken me outside of my comfort zone, I'm also very careful about people's understanding about imagery. Yeah, I'm much more of
believe in yourself and believe in your dream, and whether you like it or not, there will always be this lucky break for you. And the lucky break will not come from anybody you know. And that's the mistake of all this. We always believe that, oh, my uncle, my cousin, my brother, my father, they are not the one that will give you a lucky break. The person that will give you a lucky break, you don't even know him. You will never know him from Adam. It will just come. But be consistent. Integrity is key. Under promise and over deliver. You don't take a job and say it will be ready tomorrow and it's not ready in 1 year. Tell them it will be ready in 6 weeks. Within you, you know it's going to be ready in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. The client will be very happy. But you say it will be ready and they don't get it, no matter how good you are. Because in this profession of photography, if you walk all the way from here to Australia where you used to live, you will see an advert on photography. Everything is word of mouth. And that has really worked for me. But I should prepare, it's the way you advertise yourself that people will take you. I don't fly, even when I was much poorer, I don't fly anything less than business or business. Most of my clients, I met them on board before the advent of private jets. Name it today in Nigeria that I have not been in the same cabin with. And they always worried, photographer, business class, first class. It's part of the business psyche those days. And guess what? There is no day I fly that I do not get to a business. It's absolutely impossible. By the time we will all back, either from Abuja to Lagos, Lagos to London, or Lagos to America, which is even better for me because the longer route, I will get a business. It's absolutely possible. I have my business card, which I've been doing for nearly 32 years. I started doing color business class since 32 years ago. And that was even what attracted everybody to me. Because I've never seen any business card like that before. There are ways you project yourself that people will take you serious. And when I was, and that's now because there might not relating to this. When I was doing my social photography, I would come to your house, smell nice, dress well, sing well, and I give you my figure. If you can't afford to eat, you will not talk to me rudely. if you can afford me, you treat me nicely. And what I did then, I was still living in the UK before I settled back to Nigeria. I made them to pay for my flight tickets. There was a day, I will not mention it, there was a wedding at TBS in 2005. Sonia Ade was the guest who was on hand, and one of the mothers, mother of the bride friends wanted to be rude to me. Right in my presence. The money I paid you is more than some days I paid you up with all the hand. And I'm in one man riot. I take my pictures myself up to tomorrow. Because what you are paying for is Dayo Adedayo. The moment you have someone, Ojimo go there, Sunday, Solomon, you go there, you are no longer a photographer. You are a trader. And you will not command respect. And that is the truth. Because the video has been as the use of Bonner Boy, can't send anybody to dancing for him. When Ashiwaju, the current president, during his inauguration, some of the people that knew me saw me taking pictures. They were saying, Dayo, can't you send some of your boys who are taking a big than something that is giving me money? This is what people know me for, not by sending someone else. This is a profession because what you see is different from what someone else will see. You know, it's not because I'm better, no. It's an interpretation of what is in my brain that I'm doing. You know, and people are paying for that. You know, and perhaps Yapo, you know, there's another proverb that says, if the author should think of the pains and the sufferings he has gone into while he was out hunting, when he gets home, he won't give anybody anything to eat. But unfortunately, he shared that shit. You can only walk alone, you can't shop alone. Thank you.
I will ask you a question. Oh, Mr. Collard, pardon me, sir.
What's the question?
Yes, sir. Have you faced moments of failure, and what did they teach you?
And it's me, I can write like 14 higher education days. I think it would be so wrong to not pray for failure. It would be very wrong not to pray for failure. Because if you don't fail, how do you learn? If you don't fail, how do you define success? Because before you can say you succeed, you have to have seen the opposite of it. If there's no poverty, there's no riches. So I think failure is an integral part of learning. For me as a photographer, for me as an entrepreneur, business person, the supposed strategies and whatever I think I am, I think what has defined me is the amount of failure that I've experienced. Let's leave educational, I would count myself to be a young, brilliant person, much younger, even though I'm still very brilliant. But if I go into work, my work years, my work experience, I was jokingly going through my archive. I don't know how, I was working with my team and we found this old drive I used to have of images that I shot maybe like 17, 18 years ago. And while they were 18 years, and while we were going through it, and they were trying to look for images, we were putting something together for one of our wedding websites, and we started bringing out those images, and they're like, sir, we'll use this one. I'm like, which image? And they brought it, I'm like, in your life, if you ever bring these kind of images out. And it taught me a very important lesson when I saw that day. A lot of times I critique my team members. I criticize them, you should do better, you should do this. But when I saw what my work looked like 18 years, that's the reason I appreciating them. People are very good. These were the pictures I was taking. I was a disappointment to myself. But you see, the beautiful thing is failure is very, very important. every failure is an opportunity for you to learn something. Learn why you failed and learn how to do it better. You don't ever say because you failed, things are bad, or you've done it badly. You've only done it in a way that it shouldn't be done, which gives you the opportunity to learn another way to which you can do it to make it better. So yes, I failed in so many ways. Even from a business point of view, I failed. No, I don't think I'm like, I mean, if Mr. Dayo can say he's still building and he's still, so I think I'm way far from where I want to be, and I'm proud to see my failures as the scars that they are and grow and learn from them. So yes, it's been quite a few. So I don't think I want to pinpoint to one, but I can tell you from a business point of view, I've made several wrong decisions that have really cost me my business. I've made mistakes in even delivery, not meeting up with my delivery, not understanding that I had to call my client and open up proper channel of communication to tell them what situations are. You know, I've made mistakes with billing. I mean, it's so many mistakes I've made. But the beautiful thing is that to every of those mistakes I've made, I've learned something new. I've learned to do better. I've learned to plan better, and I think it's actually brought me, you know, this far to where I am today.
So now I will throw this question to all three of you. The first is that what advice would you give to aspiring photographers?
I wasn't this lucky, like you all. So 3 things I would advise: education, education, education.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I will answer the question in line of photography as well, not finance or camera. And why I'm doing so is that I'm going to talk from experience. I followed Dayo Adedayo in a couple of his activities. We've been to Lakaway together. We went everywhere inside the bush taking photography. We've been to Rio together. His body, the time he's doing, let's go. We're going together. One thing what I learned from him, there was one day we were going about in the bush and around the pond in Lakaway. And all of a sudden he stopped me. He said, "Well, wait. I'm seeing some waves on the water that I need to take." I just asked myself, we're both looking at the same thing. He's seeing something. He said, "This is money." That's the language he used. He said, "This is money. Wait for me, I have to take this." I mean, I wasn't seeing any dollars on the water. So my advice to you as upcoming photography, listen to yourself very well. Do things or take pictures that are not there outside. That's your money. Today, let me give you an example. You started one example that I want to. You see all these Danfo boys? They write different inscriptions on their buses. Thank God, Kinikon, Kinikon. See the different inscriptions on their buses. If I were you, I would be taking every picture of any Danfo that has one inscription. Just make sure that whatever is written in that Danfo, take it, keep it. One day, you will be the only one that ever captures that kind of. That's the way Dayo Adedayo has been making money. And that's what you learn.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bolaji.
So I think I'll sum up everything he said. I'm a huge advocate of knowledge. I think what creates rift between me and my team members is education. Like Mr. Adedayo said, I started photography yesterday, you know. But when I started photography, there was no Facebook, no social media at all, no YouTube. Now, the only way you download anything, no internet was new, sir. Very new at that time. You could only browse in a cafe in cyber cafe overnight, and then you pay in cyber cafe and use their computer. So I'm more of self-taught in as much as I learned from those who are already practicing. My access to education then were PDFs. So you have to download PDF. PDF was in version 3 point something or 4 point something. So you have to download PDF online. And computer wasn't so common. So there was no laptop. There were desktops. You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't so common. And you can't just say you afford the computer then is the cost of a brand new car, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So there's no reason why you have computer at home, except your daddy is, So you download in one cafe when your money expires overnight. So it's either you go to your office, if by law your office has computer, or you find another cafe that they are now doing typing and setting and graphics. Those ones, they don't do internet, they do typing. So you now see, so in between they are designing for other people, you just slot it in and read small, and then they remove that page and then you wait. And those were how we learned. So when I see my team members not taking advantage of the fact that they have an office that has AC and internet, and everybody has their own laptop and their major computers, and then they have a massive studio where there's lights, there are equipment, there are cameras that they can use. When I see them not taking advantage, I feel bad. When I see them not learning, I feel bad, because what I challenge them is, if Mr. Adedayo can bring in our books and say, these are all the things I read, you understand? And since I'm an avid reader, the question is, what do you know that you're not reading? I mean, some of you are not married, you don't have bukatas, and then you're not reading. You are there. So for me, I'm a huge advocate of education, and I'm glad UK Academy is by education as well. Education is key. Open up your mind. So not just photography, learn design, learn intersection of lines, learn architecture. Learn as many things as possible. Understand the theory of colors. How colors connect. Understand the relationship between space. I said somebody discovered Farouk last year by chance. Not because he was looking for Farouk. He was looking for a story that was different. So it's some guy smoking cigar with tattoo guy and he smiled at him. And that was the picture that went viral. Why should I come here to come and find that guy? No, I need to find another story. So interestingly, I had a conversation and I realized that they do Jude in Ekpe as well. While I was doing the Jude by Japan, people were focusing there. I took a few pictures I needed to take that I thought were relevant to me. I jumped in my car and I drove to Ekpe. And I would say I have some of the most beautiful pictures from Jude Oba in Ekpe. So you must find a different story. A different story, and a story that lasts. And don't take any story for granted. There was a time when Ushodi was all yellow from the roof. Ushodi is no more all yellow from the roof anymore. He was talking about Bedford and Molwe. There was a time when Molwe was the order of the day. Not even Molwe, there was Bole Kajas. In fact, I was watching a documentary years ago that experimented with Nigeria after the coup and all of that they were trying to restructure the state transport system, and they bought vehicles from I think Switzerland or Sweden that were they're like box like what you have with Kumbi, but they were bigger. And they were talking about the Lagos transport system that all those trucks would always bring up. And I suddenly remember the advent of BRT in Lagos. Now, the red BRT, when it came out and it flooded Lagos, how many people have those pictures anymore? You understand? Power J.K.'s picture of hair is very important. I was watching Mrs. Ogunlese's documentary with Ecobank on Adire, and I realized that there were some people, I think her grandmother was a collector of Adire, and they had Adire designs of 30, 40, 50 years ago. And you could see from each of the design how Adire has evolved over time, and those designs are no more, and they've kept them and they're treasures now. So you must find a different story, and you must hold those stories. In the era of social media and everything, you must find something that stands you out. It's not okay to be a photographer
but it is very important to be someone who tells a different story. Thank you.
Thank you. Indulge me. Let's ask the audience. They might have a question to ask as well. So, is there anyone who have a question? Okay.
Yeah, you're so better and so beautiful, sir. I have this, personally, you are my number one role model. I'm proud to say that now. Okay, let me just keep what I'm saying. Okay, here is my question, sir. I discovered that you usually archive a lot of works. All your works are intact. And we're in a dimension where people get to, just like we have a social, we are mostly social photographers. We get to deliver work to the clients, charge them, and we don't know I'm talking about the generation now. The relevance of archiving our works. I'm a friend of yours on Facebook, and I sent the friend request many years back before doing that. And I saw that you have a picture of our current president. Back then, as at when he was, probably before he was a senator, or when he was a senator, down to the governor of Lagos State and all of that, and we had to, do an exhibition on that and all of that. I want to speak to how important and relevant it is for us to treasure our works and all of that. Thank you, sir.
If I say it was deliberate, I'll be lying. But I did not recognize it. One, I kept diary for about 24, 25 years. Day to day diary. So my memoir is going to be very rich. So in terms of archiving, because something happened that made me to say I got it from my mom. My mom is on left. She has never seen the forward of the school before. And when my dad passed 53 years ago, she kept all the documents, whether they are relevant or irrelevant, she doesn't know. She can't read. Now come a time when they wanted to sell my dad properties, because in his last will and testament, he said nothing should be sold until 21 years after his death. My mom now went somewhere where he kept all these things. And people were shocked to see the kind of documents she had kept away. And that applies to me. Until that day, I never knew I got it from her. Funny enough, all the pictures I've been taking since my teenage years, I have over 90% of them. Wherever I go, they go with me. And with education, what I now did was to buy, these files they use in the office. I don't know what they call it, those big files, because I've never worked for anybody or worked in any structural environment in my entire life. I labeled everything from A to Z. So if I'm looking for pictures of 1985, if your name is Solomon, like my brother here, I'll just go to West, park it up, and go to Solomon. And there is nothing as good as keeping your files. One, it is a form of wealth that you will not enjoy the benefit. It is your great-grandchildren that will enjoy it. Now think of, you have Keke Marua all over the place now, and all the writings and inscriptions my friends said and other people have been saying. In your lifetime, because you witnessed it, it's nothing to you. Now talk another 50 years time. In 50 years time, Lagos will not be different from Dubai. Take it from me. Right? But people want to know how it was. I have a picture of Amadu Bello with Yosan Soch then in my archive. And I'm waiting for the day that this place will open, when I will bring out some archival materials that people have not seen in ages. Like the airport road in Abuja, you know, it was 2 lanes, made 4 lanes. 4 lanes were there for right and half of those pictures before it became what it became today. And there was even a time I wanted to do a book with Baba Shetima, who was a federal government photographer then and now. Baba will do then, I will do now. Unfortunately, he hasn't got anything. And there is no better way to express it than saying what I have in my archives is more than the money in the CBN of today. That's the best way to express myself. And I've started scanning all my negatives over the years into digital, and I kept them. They don't keep it in one place. Should there be war can't go on in the whole world. If the world is coming to my hand, then there's no need for it. But if anything happens, God forbid, flood of water, flood of fire, you know, you are safe. It's going to cost a fortune. I'm not a fan of cloud. I'm analog probably because of the time I was born. I'm still analog. I carry all my hard drives wherever I go. So say I do some work now, I will just, whenever I'm going to London, I will read the one in London. From London, if I'm going to America, I go to America. There are 2 cities in the US, so it's not just in one city. I do that as well, you know. Then in Lagos, 3 places, you know, all kept intact. And the beauty of that is, in years to come, people can come back to you. That is the job I should be receiving from Italy next week. One of the richest guys in Nigeria that I did something for in 2004 just said, Dayo, you know the job you did for me? I couldn't find it anymore. Maybe someone stole it. And I said, okay, I have it. I said, that is not possible. I said, okay, I have it now. So I just sent in 2 or 3 of the images. I said, Dayo, can I have it? I said, well, prices have gone up. I said, go ahead and do it. You know? And aside from that, what you can do again to make money, because you have to think of the bottom line. There will be people from Ikorodu. There are several people, I could see that a lot of people are from Ikorodu today. There are several people living in Ikorodu who are old and photographers. You can play on their intelligence. Because if they are called Babaje, tell them that, you know, you can play on their intelligence, go into their archives, right? They are not losing out. They will still get money, right? Get all those files, look at them. It tells the story of a time, which we no longer have. And the truth is this, and whoever is in Nigeria will be the person that will share from the local. This is the best place to be in the world, and this is the best time to be in Nigeria. You guys are lucky to be here today because it's not all the time that one will have the opportunity to say what is coming on from, because it's not written down. Even if you go to university today, I don't know what the curriculum is, but you don't write exams in photography. All you did was just practicals, because it's practical. You know, you can do thesis, but maybe 1,000 words or so. That's correct, but it's mainly practical, right? So the importance is, I cannot overemphasize it. Don't let anything go by. And when you take your pictures, today is digital, and I'm not a fan of digital, because anything could happen. It happened to me recently. One of my files, I just could not open it. My early day files from year 2002 up to 2005, I lost everything. And funny enough, I don't have access because the other one that was with someone, the person at Java, so their house was locked up, so I don't have access to their house. The one in London at the same time. Okay. What I did was to get I got a 90 person in the UK, central London. It cost me nearly £10,000. But that £10,000 is totally insignificant to the content of what the guy retrieved. How they retrieved it, I don't know, but it just was not open. I don't do your USB stuff, so wherever I am, I mean, abroad, they don't take light. In my house, constant light 24/7 because of inverter. Because you don't want a situation whereby your hard drives just shut down and you come up again, man, you are looking for trouble. So whatever hard drives or whatever archives you store, make sure they're not in one place and have them kept in several places. That is what you are going to spend in your retirement. I traveled Nigeria between 2003, up until about 10 years ago, vigorously. There is nowhere in Nigeria I haven't been to. Can I go to some of those places today? The answer is no. There was a time the current vice president called me when he was the governor, Shetima. Someone said Dayo Adedayo, because I was in Borno State for 7 months in 2005. So all the 27 local governments under my belt, there is nothing in Borno State today that I don't have. They were looking for a tree, Kukawa tree. The tree was over 2,000 years old. And Boko Haram have destroyed everything. And so very in Kukawa, very passionate. Nobody can even go to Kukawa today, as of today, because the Boko Haram territory. And they said, oh, Adedayo will have it. The guy said no. They said he will have it. They called me. I was even in Abuja time. And I said, look, I have the picture. They sent a PJ to come and pick me up from Abuja. Went to me, listened to my story. We came back together on the PJ to Abuja to get my hard drives. And the guy was blown away with what I have in my archives. The government now commissioned me. If you go to Borno State today, everywhere in Borno State, government house, ministries and everything, all my work are there. So when some of my political friends go over there, they say, Dayo, you'll be here again, it's because of my archive. If I don't have an archive of my work, it's matter. There was a time David Omodu was looking for some pictures. He just called me, Dayo, do you have this? Do you have that? Yes, now, but boom. Sent to me, he could not believe that. There is nothing you can do with archiving. And sorry, I will say this now before it goes on my head. Another thing you can do, which no one is doing in Nigeria today, that you can make money from. Photographers make money from taking pictures. In our days, there was no Photoshop. And we don't print. We take it to the laboratory for someone else to go and do the hard work. There is nobody developing pictures digitally today in the whole of Nigeria. That's a whole hell of business. That's a whole hell of money. Why people will shoot raw, send it to you, you open a shop, say you will process for them. So they will concentrate their time for taking more pictures rather than coming back to come and edit. But there is a but. Upon all the churches and mosques, our integrity in this country is near zero. Because you must have integrity. And that is why I don't print any of my books in this country. One, there is no printer that can print. Nobody can do it. That's number one. Number two, integrity is lacking. If you have integrity, and people know you for your integrity, I bet my life you make more money than photographers, because photographers don't even make money. It's the canal of this world, the Nikon, the Sony that are making money. The people making tripod, the people making the value chains of work. So what you need to pursue is not photography. If you pursue photography, you will be very. I don't pursue photography. What I pursue are the value chains. You all have a copy of my book now. Someone can take pictures and hand you those pictures to someone who can buy it off you for peanuts. You see billboards, it takes about 20-25 million naira to put a picture on them. And meanwhile, you are the one that sweat, take the risk to go and take those images. And someone will now take 20 million and they pay you how much? 200, 500,000 naira. If you are lucky, 1 million naira. I don't take those bullshit. Take your picture, follow the value chains. It's in the value chains that your money is. And that was why I told two of my friends who are money people, they can see money when they are sleeping. They're not going to talk today, but they're listening to us, and they can take it off from there. It's better for you to take 10% of everything you're doing and be making that 10% every day constantly than be putting everything under your armpit to say that it's not good enough. You know, but coming to the archival store is very good. Take it as second nature. Everything you do, archive them. And before you erase your, what is it called, your flash drive, make sure they are double check. They're on your hard drive. Put that on another hard drive and make sure you go and keep that somewhere else where no one can even trace it. Nobody can trace to say, oh, the second listing is there. Because as time goes on, people will start kidnapping creatives. Not because of money, but because of the kind of work that you have. That is why you see people going to museums to be studying artwork. That is where I want to take this profession to before I breathe my last breath. To say, yes, this is it. We've come to a stage whereby we can all go back and say, yes, we can rest. What is the point of you sweating from morning till night and you can't see the labor, or the work of your labor? You enjoy the work of your labor. We have to go beyond that space. Most of you are graduates, if not all. So while your friends in the finance industry, oil and gas, law, name it, and making money, you are still going back to drugs and thinking you are taking pictures. And you just wake up one day as a man that your wife has left to go and meet the finance man. Thank you.
Very carefully to this story I'm going to tell you. You will benefit from it. One day, this man, Dayo, was in Abuja, and I was in Abuja too. He gave me an address, so I took Uber and I went there. So when we are in the room, a guy came in. You remember this? A guy came in, and after some discussions, the guy told a story that pained my heart extremely. Do you know what? The guy is one of you guys. He's a photographer. And he's done a lot of documentary. He's gone to Sambisa Forest and all those northern, taking a lot of pictures that he has. One day, he said some people called him, CNN called him, and they saw some of his work on Facebook or something, and they started talking to him. To cut the story short, they took these guys, all his work he has done, for $300. CNN bought all his works and his apparatus and everything. They bought everything for $300. That guy was almost crying that day, and me too, I was sobbing in my heart that he couldn't access like buying the whole work has done. So learn from that. Do not sell your work for a pot of porridge. What you think is not valuable today will be valuable tomorrow. That guy was extremely sad. I felt sad for him. I asked him, how did this guy come to this level? He said, well, that's life for you. So learn from that. Every precious you take is your asset. If you are not earning the money you are looking for today, don't sell your effort on a pot of porridge. Very important.
And this part is for we, the female. When I started photography, I love documentary. I hardly go for events. If I go for event, maybe I'm backing up someone. I love documentary. And in 2019, I guess, I was opportunity to go to Aruru for this their festival. I took pictures. But later on, especially when I got married, that zeal was no longer. I still have passion for photography, especially documentary. But that, trying to navigate marriage life, the new life, your passion and all of that. So as a female photographer, whether we're documentary photographer photographers or whatever job we find ourselves, how do we balance our work life with our passion and, you know, become successful again if we want to?
Single, let your spouse know that this is your life. This is what you have to do. Then again, even it cuts both ways. It's not just for women alone. Because you can't say because you are a man, you'll be living your own. Because I can go away for 3-4 months. And I only work once every 5 or 6 years. During that period, I can go away and forever, you know, but I'll just be phoning the house, so everything okay, is okay. But once I'm back home, I don't travel again to take pictures. And because of the insecurity, I didn't even have time to travel anymore. But, madam, what you should have done is to lay the rules for your husband. Because before you say yes to his proposal, you have the ace. Unfortunately, when we want to catch a fish, we put a worm on our hook. The moment you catch the fish, we take the worm out of the hook, nothing, put it there and then. Now, short remain. You know, but on the more serious note, women should let their spouses know that this is my life, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and let the rules. Then you need to talk to successful women photographers. T.Y. Bello is there. Unfortunately, Aisha again is now the government appointee. If not, you can just beckon on her to ask her how she managed to combine the home front together with having a family. Then again, you can get house help to do some of the course, because going to Arugugu is a big festival. I remember when I did that in 2005. I've never been back since then. It's all the same. You go to do about this day, I'll always get another do about tomorrow. So what am I going to do there? You just take a picture. It's the same storyline. Same storyline in Arugugu as well. You know, but let your spouse know what is going on. And most importantly, so if you are bringing money home, your spouse will have no say than to say, this is your life. But when you go out and you are going to see your lead corporal, you know, 6 packs, because once you are married and responsible, you only have 1 pack. You know, it's still responsible men that carry 6 packs when they are married, because they are always in the gym. No, that's a fact of life. You know, it will be very, very difficult. But it's a very straight thing, even for men as well. You can't say you are going out to take pictures all the time. Then time to pay rent, you are struggling, or school fees, you can't buy food and stuff like that. Your wife will leave you. But if the income is there, and they can see what you are doing, even to marry, let's put photography aside. To marry, don't marry someone you love. It's the worst thing that can happen to anybody. If you marry someone you love, that person has your blue button. Okay. And you will regret it for the rest of your life. Yeah, I can see one lady looking at me over there. Right? Marry your friend. Because 6 months down the line, there will be something called syphilis. That is not love again. If you marry your friend, you will fall in love. Then, there is no time you will not fall out of love. Once you fall out of love, because you guys are friends, friendship continues. Then, you fall in love again. But if you are not friends, and you marry thinking you love, but it's not love, it's lust, then you will be lost. LUSD, from LUSD. So, it's not a one-cap fit all, but relationship is something we have to tread carefully, because there is no formula to it. Then again, pray for you to meet your friend, because that is very, very key. Don't look for Yansh, like your generation. You know, it is the worst thing that can happen to any man. Don't look for anything physical. Don't look for money. Don't look for wealth. Just look for that person's brain, that person's soul. That soul will be there forever. With an accident, with any illness, that person remains the same. But if you go for yansh, one way or the other, the person sits on the nail and they have to go to yansh, you know. If it is beauty, there is an illness, and that is gone forever. You know, but if it is the soul remains forever. And that is why we see the wife has given the man, what is it called? A project, you know, because people cannot break into them. And for men, for me, the easiest way out of success is to give your spouse, your wife, everything that you have and everything that you are. Well, there's a caveat, right? But when you give her everything, all the houses, all your houses, even men that don't swim are not successful. I've never come in life that is successful and I haven't got a girlfriend. That's the truth of life. No, that is the truth of life. Women, my friend, that is value-added tax. At a point, it should be value-added P. I won't call the rest, right? Because you never know what the woman is bringing on the table. Our eyes. If you are unfortunate to have a girl child, don't forget the law of karma. Always have that at the back of your mind. But madam, see Oga down. Let Oga see your income. Don't hide anything. Because I know you women, your children are your next of kin, and women, our wives are our next of kin. Make everything open, and Oga can see what is coming in. Because relationship is a so do everything you can, because most of us at the point of death, 75.
A partnership, treat it as such. What it means is if you're passionate about something, as long as you're not telling your husband to leave his job, I don't think he will want you to leave your job. A lot of things that happen is with women, which I've seen, I'm not saying you, but what has happened to female photographers is when they get into the other job, and the other job is a full-time job. You are a wife, you are a mother, you are a roommate, you are everything. So when they get into that job, they tend to relax or get overwhelmed, and then they don't see the occupation or the arts which they used to practice as relevant, and they leave it at the expense of the other. So I think the key thing is having that conversation. First have the understanding, and have that conversation with your spouse. You know, like Mr. Dayo said, that okay, honey, this is what I do. I'm a documentary photographer, which means that I go away a lot, you know, to document. You met me doing this. I will love to continue with it. Outside myself, as an example, when I was getting married to my wife, I knew she was a banker. We're clear about the fact that she wants to be a career woman. She wants to work in the bank. And it's as simple as she will leave home at 6 in the morning. A lot of times she doesn't come home till 8, 9 p.m. You know, every day. So the key thing is asking herself, how do we manage this? She comes from a home where they grew up with house help. Me, I come from a home where it's my mother that was our head and did everything. So when we got married, getting a house help was a big deal for me. But we had to have that conversation. I had to reason with the fact that, listen, yes, I find it hard to trust strangers with my children, but I also have to understand that I've agreed with her that she has to go with her career. Luckily enough for me, my mom was super supportive, extremely supportive. When we had our first kid, she would come. In fact, later I had to tell her, okay, it's a job, mommy, I'll be paying you monthly. She just laughed. But what our mom would do is, because she's that kind of woman that doesn't want to live with her kids, she would not live in her husband. She would come in the morning, spend time, you know, before I go work, my wife and I go to work, she would come,
stay till evening, and then my wife, returns. So when I return, then she goes home on Sunday. She stays the night with us. When our first child got older, we had to, and we had twins. We had to get help because at that point in time, it became extremely challenging. We became weekenders to our kids. On Monday, over the weekend, the kids would stay with us. On Monday, we take the kids to my parents, and then we stay with them. I mean, starting out early those years was really difficult. But what helped was that we were clear about what we both wanted, and we both agreed, to that. So as much as it was tough for us, the key thing is having that conversation. I think that's the first thing. The second thing is when you now start out, be clear about what your limitations are. Taking care of the child, forget whatever they say and the West has told us now, about family. Listen, the family is as important as who you will ever become. Whatever you do with the arts, or whatever you think you become now, will be nothing when suddenly you're not able to do it so much, and you have to depend on those children. Our prayers that will depend on our kids. People just say, I don't want to depend on my child. No, it's a lie. You have to depend on them, not because you cannot afford things financially, but because at the point in time, you need that support system from these people who know you, who trust you, and who have seen you as part of their lives. So motherhood is key. So you don't take motherhood for granted. So what I'll say you rather do, you begin to see smile as art. You begin to see the joy of kids running around as art. In fact, it takes you to the elementary stage when you realize that you have to learn how a child walks, which is something you don't know. It's almost like you're going full circle to what I said, life and death and the creation itself. So that begins to inspire you. So in the middle of it, when you have that break and you have a nanny or a help, you can quickly go back to your art. When you have another child, you still go back through the circle. Now what happens automatically is if you continue consistently in that circle, by the time your kids are grown and you want to take up that career, you feel like you never left for once. And don't ever think that, like Mr. Adedayo said, don't ever think that one picture that you take is the best picture. People are taking best pictures way back. So whatever time you miss, documenting as a documentary photographer, landscape, or whatever you are, trust me, there will still be more of those to document. There will always be earthquakes. There will always be landships. And if you don't see, natural earthquakes, there will be economical earthquakes that, territories will shift, architecture will shift, you understand, way of life will shift. And what happens is you still have more stories to document. So I don't think you should see it as a problem. I think you see it as an opportunity. But beyond every other thing, when you're getting into marriage, understand that it's a partnership, it's a relationship. Discuss with your partner so that your partner understands you and you also understand the tax out there ahead of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dyson. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Thank you, sir, for your time. I'm really excited to be here today, and my question is in line with your own. And I'm really happy that you spoke about the value chain, following the value chain, and following value, and you're not necessarily just shooting photography. That was really important for me. But I just wanted to put a layer of question on that area, because I started off photography, from pretty much like from there. By the way, Mr. Kola was my trainer, and my organizing things. I started photography 2010, 11. Yeah. So and eventually also add an apprenticeship program, with him. And part of the things that I cherished so much in that experience was the fact that he forced me to go through the very basics, of these things. I remember we finished, and even though he had lectured and said, hey, do this type of photography, that type of photography, this is where the money is and all of that. He was also the same person that pushed me to go and start doing Papa in the States, because I needed money. My girlfriend, I just used her school fees to buy me a camera, and I must pay back. so I had to pay back, and so I was just thinking, maybe I'll get this wedding, I'll get that. Then until you told me, I was like, what do you mean? People are shooting every Saturdays
in parties and all of that. You go there and start doing that. You start making something from every Saturday. And you see, that was when my commercial photography in that sense started from making money on photography. Went there on Saturdays, did all of this. Even though it was not what I wanted to do, and I had that experience. And I remember that also helped me in a way to even pay for my school fees. Because by the time I go to school, I have to sometimes, if I had a little opportunity to leave school to come to Lagos on a Saturday, I come to Lagos on a Saturday, do a bit of that, then I have some money to take care of myself during the week, or I get some 10,000 I can save up for the next school fees that is coming and all of that. And so, today I have a photography studio in Surulere, at the very center of Surulere, and I'm using a very big space for that. But my answer is that going through that experience till now, I have seen how if we are to capture the photography industry in that sense, if we leave out the possibility of, because I said I was able to make up something of my life through this same African photography, even that period, and it was a reality for me, regardless of whatever information that I was privy to in that sense. And I felt if we ignore this part, I say it every now and then, if we ignore this, the entire, if we ignore these people that are making just even little penny from photography, if we ignore it off the photography industry, we don't capture it into the scene, I feel that we may not be capturing the entire lucrativity of photography businesses, that we may not be capturing the entire economy of photography industry. And I also studied the trend over the years, and I would say I had a period of my life where, my boss bought like Starmania magazine, in the studio, we had a stack of it. I was literally looking through those magazines every day of my life, in the studio and all, and it inspired me. And as much as I wanted to be like Kelechi, the only thing I knew to be like Kelechi was to be able to shoot like Kelechi. But shooting like Kelechi was not what made Kelechi. You see, so there was a missing part of industry information, who to meet on what, and all of that. So the aspect of the value chain, the value point, the different parts that connect, it took me time to finally, I had an opportunity to prepare a production treatment for LG earlier this year for one of their image bank they wanted to do for the year. And of course, it was a long conversation over budget and all of that, because the budget was no, we went this way, we went that way. But I flashed back, I remember 5 years prior to this time, I got an offer from an agency in the UK to actually do a commercial production for them. The budget was about £20,000, I think 15 to 20,000 pounds, and they asked me for production treatment. I didn't know what I was doing. I just sent in one slide or the other. But 5 years later, I'm looking at that product and I was laughing because I wondered if I knew better, I would have gotten something off that opportunity. So I'm looking at how do we how do we bridge this gap in between photographers that knows how to shoot, but they don't understand the value chain. They don't even know who to meet in the company or who to talk to over what to be able to get, but they can do the job anyways, but this is just the missing line. Because eventually, their inability to be able to do this, causes like the kind of experience that, I forgot his name, that you called earlier, $300 for something that was sold for CNN, and then you realize that they could do that for 10, 20, 100 photographers if we don't bridge that gap eventually. This dropped the commercial photography industry lucrativity for a very long time. Thank you so much, sir.
I take it 2 years, 3 years if you are in the proper line of education. And the truth of the matter is, we've not started photography in Nigeria. What we are doing at the moment is what the Yoruba people say, cash and gem. I see no reason why someone like Kola at the end of the year will not be able to have about $5–10 million job gross, right? People like you maybe will be pushing for $1 million or $2 million, and that is what I would say we started. So what we need to look at is what UK Photography Academy started. I hope I have not gone back to Irish Polytechnic. to see what they're doing. But in discourse like this, is when things will come. And these are opportunities. Luckily, I have to guys who are finance people. They can see things clearly than us. I'm not a finance person, but I'm really lucky all my life to be at the right place at the right time, to be the right person. That's always been my prayer, and it's been working for me. So everything lies in education. There is no, what is it called, platform, a standard education institution controlled by the government, NUC, National University Commission, with lots of people who have studied the course, who know the rudiments and people from the business part to teach people how to go about all these things. There are no agencies where you can go, like someone like you should have a manager representing you. You can't be the photographer and be the manager at the same time. It's absolutely impossible. There should be an interview. They should not even come to you. There's a manager they will go to. But as time goes on, we'll get there. And those are the benefits of being in Nigeria at this particular time. Because I like to give people examples. What you should do is, everyone here, if you know people who have Japan in the last 3-4 years, just call 4 or 5 of them and ask for their experiences. And you will now know that they've left a golden pot. Things might not be as it is the way you want it, or because you are too ambitious or over ambitious. It's good to be ambitious, but it's bad to be over ambitious. You don't want, you can't be like Dayo Adedayo. It's absolutely impossible. Go and put that in the bank. But you can be better than Dayo Adedayo as you go steadily. If every one of you go on YouTube and search for the race between the turtles and the rabbits, over and over again, the turtles wins. Slow and steady wins the race, and that is the kind of profession that you are. But to answer your question directly, there should be an intermediary from you, which are not there, and that's an opportunity for you. You have gone through that regimen. So what stops you from being a manager to someone else? Now that you know. Because those are the things. You don't say, oh, you are looking for a business opportunity and be thinking. They drop on our laps every day. Because business opportunities are things we are looking for in our immediate environment that are not there, that you latch on. And that's it. And that's how I became who I am. Because when I came back, as a 2003 Nigeria, there is nothing called photography. Zero photography. All the advert shots in Nigeria were shot by South Africans and mostly in South Africa. Social photography, nothing to write on about. They still go to Babadi to go and print with albums. The richest photographer ever. You need to study people. Whoever is in the line, it's not just about taking pictures. Because those people can influence you. Like the father of modern Nigerian photography. Who knows the father of modern Nigerian photography? Dele Momodu. Without Dele Momodu, there will be no social photography in Nigeria. And without Don Baba, how many of you know Don Baba here? Yeah. Without Don Baba, there will be no Kelechi, there will be no T.Y. Bello. But you have to know everybody. And this world here is dedicated to Nigerian photographers. Some names is going to come at this world. The people that made a difference. And for us to sit down there to say, we are photographers, so the first person in photography. But here you have an opportunity. Don't complain. We complain too much. We love to point fingers in this country. Wake up, start the coffee, make the coffee, and run with it. And my first book on Nigeria, since the creation of Nigeria in 1914, nobody has ever done it. If I've gone to government to say I want to do this, it's a contract. They will not look at photo. Who takes photo? They don't see it. Who knows Tinubu without photography? Who knows Buhari without photography? But meanwhile, they do not recognize you guys because we have not put ourselves in a way that they will take us seriously. Tinubu should go to photographers' house and say, oh, thank you, especially me, Dayo Adedayo. I started this campaign with the last man standing exhibition, long before the primaries. Because I took a stand on that this is the person I'm supporting. And he won. And after he won, after his inauguration, I didn't need to see him again. I had on my feet and moved on. Because we don't want to involve in politics and religion, because it's a no-win situation for you. You can't win. You can't say Jesus is the way and only. And I can't tell you if you don't worship Muhammad, you are no, and I can't come to say I will go or Yahweh. You can't win on those religion and politics. I've done my bit, I've moved on to something else. But it's an opportunity you say, you can just come up and say, oh, manager this, and that's it. And from there, we all learn. And what you need to do, like Kola said, there was no internet when he started, no computer. Now you have a phone. With a click, you can get information in Australia. You can get information in New Zealand, America, or wherever you go. You just learn how to do these things, and you make a run for it. You make a success, other people will look at you, and you inspire them. And that's the way these things are. But most importantly, is education. Education is key, whatever, even if you want to say lives. Without education in Greek, on how they plant groundnut, how you should germinate and take care of it before you open the pot, you can never make a success of it. And that is why they're still selling groundnut in bottles. If you sell it differently today, taste better, you'll make a success of it. Nigeria is a land of milk and honey, and we have the opportunities. What is lacking is the creativity. We all latch on to what someone else is doing. Until the moment you do your things differently. My mother will say, if you do things no eyes has ever seen, your eyes will see what no eyes has ever seen. And that's the way life is. Thank you.
Let me just check in something, sorry. So I'll say this, and it's interesting you asked this. It's a conversation we've been having in the last 8, going to 9 years when we started the business of photography project. And what we try to do is create a bridge. Sadly, Nigerians are poor students of history. A lot of Nigerians are poor researchers. A lot of Nigerian, sorry, when President said Nigerian youths are lazy. We might argue it as much as we can. But when there's a dearth of knowledge, they're lazy. Because it's not about your physical strength. It's about what your mind can do. My mom, while she was alive, would say, Alagbara Manu, no matter how strong you are, and you're not intelligent, you also be worse than the story of David and Goliath. And that's the reality. So education is the number one thing that we need to do. It's interesting that you've got a UK Academy, and what UK Academy is doing is literally what you're trying to look for. And I understand, trying to look at it from that point on. Everybody will not be a Kelechi because there can only be one Kelechi. Nobody else will be a Dayo Adedayo because there can only be one Dayo Adedayo. For each and every one of these people, you're able to mention their name and influence the culture one way or the other. They've identified problems and they are tackling it in their own little ecosystem. It's building a photo experience space. No other person is building that in Nigeria. No other person even saw it as anything relevant. But it's decided to take it on itself. UK Academy, till now, except for Yaba and Aochi that are trying to do something, and I think Unicorn is also trying to do something in photography. But till date, there's no formal accredited school of photography in Nigeria recognized by the University Commission or the Standard Board of Education in Nigeria. And that's the reality. Those who are trained photographers study abroad. So except for academies like this, we don't have so many. But you see, the problem is this. We don't ask for who's going to be the bridge. We can only be the bridge.
In the last few years, I've had communications with Last Man. And the bulk of those people you see that you want to talk about that work back, they are members of Last Man. Now, Last Man is a body that unfortunately was run based on their level of knowledge. And there's nothing wrong. And I'm excited because I have conversations with the leaders of Last Man, and I see how much they're also trying to evolve. Now the real deal is this, like I said, we're not going to scratch the surface. But you cannot sit at the bottom. I want to eat at the top. My mom will always say, I want to buy sheep. Yeah, what it means is it's only the child. When you experience little kids, when they want to, it's only the one that raises up their hand like this, hey, and you want to pick up. Because what it says is they're willing to go higher, but they can't. So we need to begin to see from that point of view. So if you find someone who is within that ecosystem, I come across a lot of quick earning photographers, and we have this conversation. Also, don't take it for granted. All of us will not be on the same space. Sadly and truly, the Bible says there will always be a poor man in the city. All of us will never be on the same way. Because the reality is this: there's an audience they satisfy that I cannot satisfy. The amount of money they charge and the way they run their turnover, I can't do that. What do we charge for shooting almost 100 people or 100 or 200 people? So that we charge to shoot one person. In fact, what do we charge to shoot maybe 500 people? Sometimes it's what I will charge on one project. So we cannot satisfy the same crowd because not everybody within the ecosystem will be able to pay for your service. But don't forget, your art is important enough that everybody actually wants to take pictures.
Currently, I lecture photography at Lagos University, and at the moment, it's already accredited NUC. I'm happy to say that. I also lecture photography at Trinity University. And last 5 years ago, we have some of our last year university students here. In fact, from last week's program.
There's a course called photography.
Yes, please. So currently, what LASU does is
a degree course in photography.
Yes, exactly.
In LASU.
Yes.
And you jump and you go in.
So what LASU does is that if you are going in now, you have to go in as 2 streams. You study marketing / photography. If you are studying, that's the level they have right now. If you are studying computer science / cinematography. So we have that already, and it's ongoing. I will speak to the school management, and we will see how we can meet with Mr. Dayo for to be branded and see how we can better. But that's the level we are right now. And what I found, that was what gave birth to Ukay Photography Academy too, and all of that. So there is a whole lot going on the ground, and I just believe that probably the university has been working independently outside the body of professional photographers that we have at the moment. But that is what it is right now. I just want to add that to what you said.
That's very interesting. I'm very interested in that, if that's possible. But what does the certificate carry now?
We have that
first in what?
We have that first. No, it's like an entrepreneurship study at the moment. It's not BS. So it's a program.
It's a
program.
So that's not an accredited. Okay, so what? I get what you're saying.
Unfortunately, it is accredited. The thing is that the Nigerian, I won't say it's not students.
Okay.
There's so much to say that I can't even say openly now.
Okay.
But so what is given LASU to do is to run as a program. We call it I can't remember the name now. That's the name we call it, but it's not. Yes, right now that's what we are doing. So, but the end result is to have that BSc, and there's a whole lot that we put together, which is not there right now. So that's what we have. And
so that's very interesting. Yeah. So that's very interesting. And I'll say this. That's very interesting. But so this is where the problem is going to and I will say this.
So the biggest challenge photography has had. So when you have all of those people on the street, so the difference between photography in the UK
photography in the US and in some Western countries, even in some countries in Asia, is that they are treated as an independent course that can become a career. Which means that if you do a diploma, you are awarded a diploma in photography, especially run by the School of the Arts. You understand what I'm saying? So when you practice, the same way you go and seek a job and they say present your certificate, and you say, I am so, I earned a so in this, is how it is treated in other countries. So the biggest challenge is this. Nigeria, as you know today, if you do a diploma, a polytechnic ND, you are still not even recognized. How much more you are doing a certificate course? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So one of the biggest bane of the industry right now is because it is not even recognized as a course you go to do. Because when you're saying the NUC certification, I want us to be clear about that. You understand? It's a good step. It's a good step. It shows the seeing, it shows the understanding. But you and I know that this course we're talking about, if Mr. Dayo Adedayo will say, I spent 1 year theoretically understanding the fundamentals, building pinhole cameras with cardboards and with wood, so that I know the principle of light and how images are registered with light, building with a black cardboard and a black bag so that it forms the shape where light exposure is controlled. If that becomes the basis, and then you now spend the next year trying to get access to a proper camera to now say, okay, based on technologies is the advancement, but the rudimentary is what you spent a year and a half. How do you now compare that? You understand? So it's like a paralegal and a lawyer. You understand? You can be a paralegal, do one course, be an assistant in a law firm, and you become a paralegal. But you cannot stand before a judge to defend a case. So for me, that's where we have that little challenge. And that's where clarity has to come, from the University Commission. And it's impressive that they're doing that. It shows there's a little step forward. But it goes beyond that. We all have to work on it. We all have to make the relevance. And what Mr. Adedayo is doing, maybe you don't really understand. The little I know about government gravitates towards where the noise is. So when you come to a place and they say, whatever you see, where you see, Nike, Mrs. Nike is a force in the art space. That for EcoBank to have the EcoBank they had to pick her to create a partnership to build authenticity and let people create trust. That's when she become a force. That's why tourists fly into Nigeria, and part of the tourist place they go to is Nike Art Gallery.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dayo. Thank you, Mr. Kola, and thank you, Mr. Bolaji. So on this note, we end the question and answer session of the visit to an icon. Thank you for joining us. I'm happy to see you today.
I'm the host, so can we have the job?
Portrait achievers, Nigerians and overseas. We are presenting you this award for the contribution you've done in the world of photography, both especially in Nigeria. We're just appreciating you with this. We say thank you very much, sir.
Footprint achievers, light
Hey, Academy. Yeah, Academy. And all of us are from Academy.
Most of you are just doing it as some of the solution. Ma, we're not looking at money will always come. You know, some people are sleeping now. Money is trying to free. Some people are sleeping now. Right, so we are going to the last when your time comes, nobody can stop it. The sun is out now. Daytime is the moon is out, and the two of them will never happen. It's absolutely impossible. Even what you have and what is difficult, when the sun is out in the moon, it's always a valley. After a while, it goes away. You know, this is the best time for you to be around. You are the future. You have to be different. But most important, read all kinds of books and get your answer. Because in reading, your mind gets open. You don't look at things the way people are saying it. You know, research, do a lot of research, and to be successful. Success doesn't come in a day. It's a lifetime journey. You know, and before you know what is going on, you'll be 50, you'll be 60, and just go back at the time, you'll be 70, and say, oh God, thank you for bringing me to the world like that. You know, you don't have to be another people's friend. So I'm going to friends to be multi-millionaires and others, it's none of your business. That will not make the sun have to come out before them. Some of you will die with dementia. There's one thing to someone will be illness, some will, and in most cases, where in natural state, you will know, most people with high IQ have the lowest EQ. Because you are a first class student and you have 8 A's, doesn't mean you are going to be successful in life. The people that are more successful in life are the ones with high EQ. Because your emotional content is much important than your high IQ. My best result in secondary school was 17. But yeah, I'm happy to say that anywhere in the world, because that's so that would be in the life for people like me to stop and see what you have to put ahead. It's not so like you just come in and do or you just come to play. There's also a room on the first floor as well, which is the boat room. From the boat room, you take the boat from Marina into the Atlantic. Then you go to the night quarter. You can end up on the quarter. There's turbulence as you are going, you feel the turbulence in the road. Everything is digital. You are not wearing anything. It's 5G. It's very expensive. But I'm not looking at the money. I'm just looking at the impact. For people to see how beautiful the country is. Then aside from the ocean, the Manhattan, the Massive Experience Center on that floor as well, where 360 around the same picture will show you, but in a digital form. And you'll be transported wherever you are. See business on the floor and the wall, everything. Then there's also a documentary room on the first floor, where you can see a documentary 5 minutes on Nigeria. Then on the ground floor, when you come in, is the Western floor, where we tell you a bit of stories of Nigeria. And there's a cafe, already taking my study from Cafe 1, so that the free internet access when you come here. And the good thing about this place is you get our ticket, the ticket will last you for 6 months. So you can come every day for 6 months. Yes. Because of the experience, and you might not be able to finish it. We're going to dedicate 2 hours to visit. So when we're looking at the terms of volume, you might not be able to take in everything. So for 6 months, you come back and back and back for everything. And I got that idea from my book, for a back product. There is no one that got my book, and they come back to buy 2 or more. So if you have seen something you've never seen before, it's very easy for you to tell someone, let's go. And because you're coming back again with someone else, I'm not buying the ticket, that's an incentive on the show. And the good thing about it is because you're a digital company, before you come, we're going to take a picture with the facial recognition camera. So that facial recognition camera tags certificates. So when next you come, what we ties in to use another person's status. There is a wall downstairs, which I call the wall of shame. Because when you start coming, your photo will be there with your name. You know, I'm not seeing you anything. You tell me this. You know, I mean, now with everybody you see, your picture is you've done something terrible. You know, so by the time we take that picture, by the time you get downstairs, this is the exit right here. So you come out through that, and this is the exit. By the time you get back downstairs, those pictures you're taking before you come in with the